Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about the Boss Katana MKII 100. Okay, the song you heard, I used Katana 2 settings I made before I filmed the song. The gear, my old Tokai, 20 years old or something, my ESP signatures are based on this guitar. The measurements and everything are the same, but except this has mahogany neck, my signatures have maple neck, otherwise it's basically the same. EMG 8185. Then into my pedal board, and on the distorted sounds I used Boss SD1 in front with ISP decimator to get rid of the hiss. On the clean sounds, everything was here, the phaser, delay, reverb, whatnot. So, cool. Then, you know, the signal goes to pedal boards, my usual, the KHE amp switcher, because I'm gonna compare these two Marshalls. Then here, back to Sant Rock React IR, reactive load, at cab attenuator, where I have my signature IR Valovirtuals from Jens Bugren's lead and clean pack. It works on everything. Then the signal goes to Steinberg UR816C audio interface, and I'm recording this to Cubase. Okay, you heard, it sounds surprisingly good, at least in the mix. But how is it compared to real amps? Because now what I have here is a brown amp, brown setting. I liked this the most. My favorite was the crunch, and it's the variation, I guess B, the red light is on. I have no idea what my EQ was, because I dialed this sound first and then I programmed the clean sound, and you know, but I don't usually watch knobs anyway, I just, you know, what sounds cool, use my ears. So, without anything, brown amp type variation B. And there's lots of more gain, but I always wanna use SD. There is effects here like boosters and stuff, but I didn't really felt them. I mean, there's a software where you can really dial in the effects what they were, but this is like stock settings. I didn't, too gainy, I ended up using you know, another Boss product, Super Overdrive. That just worked the best. Okay, then with SD. Yeah, it's good. Then let's compare to 800s, the bad boy. Like you heard, the character is very similar. I think the Brown channel, I guess they were after 800 style sound and behavior, but real tube amp, there's this 3D character, the low end, and the playing feel, when I play with the real tube, and it feels like organic. This is really close, the feel, but I mean, when I first played this, I was like, yeah, wow, this is cool. But then when I put these on, it was like, okay, yeah. But, you know, it's not fair to compare any amp to these two. So, yeah, that's that. And there is like lots of effects and stuff. They're basically like bass effects. I really didn't like any of the stock settings, but you need to hook this via USB cable to computer in order to edit them. But I guess, because this is a bass, well, I guess you could make the overdrive what was in there to behave like SD, like the way I use it. So level almost max and gain just pair open. Because all of these were like too much gain when I engaged it. And then, because when I barely opened the booster section, it was like, whoa, okay. So, but this isn't mine, so I didn't want to mess this up. Okay, then let's actually check out the other sounds. So, well, let me keep the SD on, because that's what I usually use. So this is the Brown. Now to lead. This is like really mid-focused. Well, it just leads, so there's not that much low end, but let's, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of mid-focused. And then the crunch. Oh, this is really good, actually. Let's compare it to the Brown. Yeah, the Brown has more gain, so now I have the gain like 9 o'clock on the Brown. And then when I change to crunch, it's not. Now it's 4 o'clock. Yeah, Brown and crunch. The lead was a little bit thin for my taste, but I guess, you know, it's all about personal preferences. Then let's switch to the preset I made. So here's this tone setting block where you can store like 8 presets, and you can control these via, there's different inputs for different foot switches. So I only programmed 2 sounds. So sound 2, and let's take the SD off. This phaser is actually just a stock setting, because phaser is really simple. Like, well, bass phaser, I think it has 2 knobs, 3. The MKII has 1. So. Yeah, it's cool. One thing that I didn't think this has, which I was a bit surprised, there is no compressor. Because usually a clean sound, it becomes, you know, more even and stuff when you have a compressor. And the Bass CF3 compressor, I have that. That's a great compressor. I've used it a lot on like chicken picking stuff and clean sounds on, you know, albums. So, conclusion. Well, I mean, the digital technology and this modeling stuff, it's come so much, you know, since the pod, you know, soapbox or kidney. I had that, and these are really good nowadays. I mean, if I wouldn't have these, I'd probably be happy, because, you know, you heard it sounded great in the mix. So, and this is very handy. This is loud, so this is now on a 100-watt section, and you heard my 800s are cranked, and this is as loud. So let me change to the brown sound and just show you once. And when I open the cabinet, so these are really loud. So, and then this goes from 0.5 watts to 100 watts. So, and because this is a digital amp, you know, the sound stays the same if you play, you know, quiet or loud. Because with tube amps, if you turn the master down, the power tubes aren't getting enough, you know, information. It just sounds like scheiße. You know, there's no low end, so you always have to crank if you want a good sound out of tube amps, especially old Marshalls. But then when you crank it, it's. But this is like, you know, it's just like a volume, at least in my experience. I didn't experience the tube sag the thing with what happens with real amps. Great home amp, even a gig amp, practice amp, rehearsal place amp. It's loud. Would I record an album with this? Well, why not? Because you can do so much in the post-processing, in mixing to the sound, add a little bit sub or that thing in there. But obviously, real tube amp is always a real tube amp. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. If you like, thumbs up, subscribe, you know the drill. Until next time, take care. See ya.